What's up, guys? Welcome to Studio Blank, the anime and manga podcast where you can find our news, views, and reviews on all things we every single week. We actually started on time. It's a miracle for episode 72.
We even started 15 seconds early.
Oh, and Tim's remote.
Tim, so...
is he remote? Like, is he a ghost?
So
I just finished Thriller Bark, so like...
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It's an awful arc, isn't it?
It has one of the best scenes in One Piece at the end, though, with Zoro, though.
It's not one of the best scenes in One Piece, though.
It's a great emotion.
Okay, it's a great scene for you right now.
You've experienced so far, Paul.
That's fair. That is a fair point. But the point is, I'm just saying.
That's what I wanted to be so clear about, because it's like one of the best seasons. Like, no. Thriller Bark is not allowed to have that.
And I will say, assaulting the world government.
I told you Ennis Lobby was the best arc.
Incredible arc.
Yeah, it's
best
fantastic.
Yep.
But so last week, Tim actually there was a new release at the card shop for Magic, and so Tim woke up at the crack of dawn to go get there.
Like a good meme harvester.
A good boy, and he got his pack. He got his collector's edition box, right? And then as he was walking across the street, he saw a girl in danger, and he decided to save her life by pushing her out of the way. But instead, he died, and he has been isekai'd, and that is why we are discussing.
He's inside the computer.
He's the ghost in the shell.
I'm fucking.
He's really mad that I did the Konosuba intro for him, but.
I'm trapped in a computer game.
He's actually doing the Yu-Gi-Oh arc.
He's in.
Oh, please no.
He's in Greed Island right now.
No, please no.
Data Kun is coming for him.
Yes, but so Tim is home right now. We also want to test out if we can have some distant friends be on our podcast. You know, those that aren't. I want to say not with us right now, but it sounds like they're dead. And we cannot contact people from beyond. Yes. Tim is an exception. He is the ghost in the shell. But
Tim is very dead. Anyway, to finish this out, for all of you audio listeners who are hanging out and missing this wonderful time, because Tim is just a disembodied human sitting on the couch. And that sounds even worse because it's not, to be fair, it's not a black couch.
We green screened Tim's webcam and put him on the couch. There you go, audio listeners. You're welcome.
And I'd hope you come watch us live next time so you can be a part of the Tim is dead chants that are happening in chat right now.
Yeah, or check this out on YouTube at youtube.com/c/ a string of numbers and letters. But if you look up Studio Blank, you'll find it.
That's true. Anyway, let's jump into the news this week.
Tim,
go ahead, because there's lots of cool stuff.
Our correspondent from beyond the wall. I don't know.
He is integrated with the internet and has pulled the best news across the entire interwebs.
God, this is what happens when you don't protect your browser.
First piece of news. This is my sad piece of news for the week. So Chihayafuru, which is a shoujo manga that's very close to my heart, about a girl named Chihaya that plays Karuta, which is the Japanese card game where you match the 100 poems. Its 15-year run of the manga is ending with this next volume.
Yep.
And Chihaya was one of the shows that really got me into anime in the early 2010s. It's what brought me back into anime when I came back in 2017. So to see it end, it's kind of Pepe hands, you know? But yeah, we love it.
That's fair. I want to say...
I think that the mangas should end.
Yes, I was gonna. Yeah, that is a. Some people forget that statement. Yeah, I'd like to point out.
I didn't mean to cut you off with my groundbreaking fucking statement. Stories should end.
I was just gonna go to the other side of things, which is that like, it's always really beautiful when the thing that you love actually finally gets its like closing chapter. You know, like
when you get that closure,
yeah,
it's like a sense of relief almost.
But at the same time, it's just like this weird mournful time, like where you're just like, oh, I don't get any more of my favorite things. And you know, like.
Well, I mean, I feel like.
And then if you're wild, you just go read fan fiction, and it's fine.
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
my whole thing
that's a good way to think about it. Like that you're really glad that the stories that you love got closure, and that makes you happy. But also, you need to remember that not every manga ends well. We have other stories, like Attack on Titan, where the fandom gets so fucking mad that you write a new ending, and then they're even madder.
I would just say, it's one of those things where you for me. When before Dragon Ball Super was announced and Dragon Ball officially ended, it was like, oh, because that's the thing that you grew up watching. Like for Naruto, for me, Tim, I know this isn't for you or Nate, but like when Naruto finally ended before Boruto came out, like you hit the end of Naruto and you're like, oh my God, I've been watching this for the last like 10 years of my life. What is life now? But you're also like, it's finally over. There's a weird back and forth there. So,
it's finally over.
It's true though.
You know what? Speaking
I can't
of
wait
Naruto,
for Oda
quickly,
to mutter those words.
Congratulations on Shippuden for turning 15 today. You did it. You're almost there. You can almost drive a car.
Dude, it's old.
Can in some places.
That's true.
You know what? That's fair. It can, in fact, drive cars in some places.
That's fair.
Can also drink alcohol in some places.
Like all of Europe. Anyway,
I'm not gonna continue with that line of jokes.
It's fine. Keep going. Tim, it's your turn for more news. Keep going.
Studio Sunrise, the house of Cowboy Bebop.
The Studio Sunrise, one of the greatest studios ever, who's been around for God knows how long.
40 years. Little
40
over 40
fucking
years.
Kings of Gundam, Kings of they did Cowboy Bebop. I'm pretty sure they did Iron Blooded Orphans too, didn't they?
I was going to say that they are basically the kings of space adventure. At some level.
Pretty much. Honestly, yeah.
Like as we were listing stuff and I was thinking back, I was like, no, they created all of my favorite space. Like,
did they do Legend of the Galactic Heroes?
No, they didn't.
Okay, it wouldn't have surprised me, honestly.
No, I'm pretty sure Legends of the Galactic. Is it? It might be A1, but I don't remember at the moment. But anyway,
Tim,
keep going.
So, yes, they are officially getting a fat name change. That honestly, if you look back,
the best part.
This has been a long time coming. They're officially, as of April 1st of this year, becoming Bandai Namco Filmworks, where this is Bandai's conglomeration and reorganization of their IP production unit. Paul, I love that you're fiddle fucking with.
He made it worse. Like that's the funny thing.
It's actually worse now.
He's really funny. Trying. Let him have fun.
Yeah, keep going.
So, yeah, Sunrise was founded in 1972. They turned 50 this year. Holy shit.
Yep.
That's so crazy to think about. Because anime is a relatively new industry. Fucking film is a new industry. When you think about it.
But it's good. I'm excited that we're finally seeing the fruits of like years and years and years and years of labor, like finally getting recognition, across mainstream media, that we're finally, Bandai Namco's household name, if we're really honest. And so finally that they have become that studio, Name changes are also just interesting.
See, where I'm at is I'm kind of at a loss. I'm not sure if this is a good thing because I feel like Sunrise had such a brand associated with it. Like, to the point where
I have some other stuff that I want to talk about with this. I found a couple other articles that I thought were
there have been some follow-ups.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bandai Namco early last week came out with some more details on the restructuring and some of the other stuff that's coming along with this. Mm-hmm. So Sunrise as Sunrise isn't dying. It's just going to be, sometimes it's going to be Sunrise, sometimes it's going to be Bandai Namco Filmworks. And this isn't the only section of their IP production that's getting
a facelift,
reorganized in a sense, or restructured. Mm-hmm. All of their music production stuff is getting whipped into a box. So Sunrise's music department is going into Bandai Namco Music Live. So Sunrise doesn't die. It just gets to kind of have some extra backing.
And
that's good.
And I found a really cool article from one of the former producers at Sunrise.
Yes, I wanted to read this article.
And it's Masuo Ueda gave a really beautiful like thought process of like how he felt when Sunrise got bought in 93 by Namco or by Bandai Namco, because Bandai has been their biggest client forever.
Yeah.
I mean, Bandai Namco owns all the Gundam stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm not sure, but if Tim says yes, I'm pretty
sure they own at least some of it.
Yes, they own enough of it that it's significant for sure. And the comment that Ueda made was, my honest impression is that this has been coming for 25 years. I mean, when the old management suddenly sold their shares to Bandai and left. That's fair. This isn't something that it was like, oh, it's a surprise. It's like, this has been in the pipeline for so long. It's just, now it's finally happening.
It's kind of just honorary at this point, because it's like, you're already a part of Bandai Namco. We're just gonna properly relabel you. Like that'd be if like Crunchy and Funimation, let's like Crunchyroll gets renamed into Funimation or re-rolled into it. Like
exactly.
Or I feel like something of that manner is going to happen regardless. Eventually, with Sony taking over all of them. Listen, hey, you know what? It's probably whatever bundle they have is probably first going to be offered with the PlayStation Game Pass.
That's fair.
That would be kind of a sweet.
That would be. Listen, Xbox has done a really good job of adding like Disney Plus, YouTube, Discord, Netflix. Like to them, like if you sign up, you just get like a month or 3 months free.
Yeah.
For new accounts exclusively, but because Sony owns all of those, they can either tie in a discount or a premium package.
I'm just excited for more cross-pollination in general. Like from things like if Bandai Namco finally has like enough of a brand standpoint with Sunrise that other companies want to get involved and work with Sunrise, like because they have that official association visually now.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that, because I know, and this is something in business, like if something isn't necessarily by name association, people don't necessarily like go out of their way to work with them just because there's a lacking of name association. Yeah. You know, like for example, we're at the point where like Xbox is synonymous with Microsoft. If you say one or the other, you assume that at some level the other is involved, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
obvious. Now that Sunrise is kind of lock in step with Bandai Namco, I'm hoping there's a little bit more of that kind of business synonymous projects going on, because they do such a great job at so many things that if it would be a shame that that name is not put to a good use for other projects now. Yeah. So more news though, because I think there's more.
Okay. Yes. So like a quick piece about a piece of content that we thoroughly enjoyed while we did Watch Party. Wodakai, Love is Hard for Otaku. It's getting a stage play in May, and it's going to run for like all of 5 days. Which is a shame, because honestly, I would get on a plane and go and watch this. I wouldn't understand enough of the Japanese to really get it, but I would have a really fun time just witnessing it. Just a fun little bit. Blue Exorcist, the manga is finally returning from hiatus. It went on hiatus in July of 2021. And Shueisha was like, hey, by the way, it's coming back. It's not coming back till May.
I'm just glad it's finally fucking coming back, because now that it's coming back, it means A, we'll get into the story, and B, we'll probably get more anime.
Yeah, so the return of Blue Exorcist poggers. So yeah, because there had been talks that it was supposed to come back earlier this year, and like late last year, and so now it's finally fucking coming back. I saw that and I was very excited. I actually just finished getting caught up with the manga on the Jump app this week, so now I have something to wait until the month of all of our births to dive into.
Just really excited for that to come back. I mean, I am.
It's going to be good.
I'm probably not going to read it if I'm honest, but I'll be excited for it to come back, and I'll be excited for the dominoes that fall afterwards.
Yes. More dominoes.
No, I want
Continuations.
I don't want pizza.
So we talked about this stage event for Jujutsu Kaisen 0 last week.
Yep.
And we all discussed that it was probably going to be the season 2 announcement. Let it be known that we were fucking right.
Who the fuck figured?
Who would have guessed?
I mean, it was like the most logical thing that it could be.
It was very, very obvious that it was going to be a season 2 announcement. I'm glad it is. We get it in 2023. I am a little annoyed that it was announced this early. Because a lot of studios have had issues with COVID recently, and there have been a lot of delays because of COVID. And I do not want another Rising of the Shield Hero where they announce like 3 seasons of it, like 4 years before it happens.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this isn't what's going to happen with it. Realistically speaking, I think them announcing it and being like, it's coming in 2023. This is our way of telling you that you are getting
winter
more
2023.
Of it. What?
It's winter 23?
Yeah, I saw it. From what I saw, it was going to be in winter. It's like in January next year.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty soon, but like.
Yeah.
Winter 2023 is like not that far off, honestly.
I think here's the thing though. I think from a point of if you're doing a returning season for a show, you don't have to announce it more than 6 months out.
Yeah, but I think with the fact that the English release of the movie is coming next month, this is kind of another way to build hype for it.
I could have tagged it at the end of the movie.
Yeah, but then it would have gotten leaked to US before, like, because it would have had to been at the end of the Japanese movie too. So that's where that gets complicated. I would also say I think it may be a publisher push, given that we haven't had enough, like, quote unquote JJK outside of the movie in almost what?
I haven't had any JJK in over a year.
Yeah, so like it's kind of this middle of the 2 seasons push to make sure that the manga kind of keeps its float, so that like they say, hey, season 2's coming up. If you want to read and catch up or like do whatever, like, so I'm not like upset about it. It's just one of the, like, because we all knew it was coming. Like it really isn't a surprise. And so it's one of those moments where I sit down and go, cool, I'm happy. Yay, we guessed right. Yay, more JJK. But
I'm excited for more JJK.
Yeah.
I just because I keep seeing Rising of the Shield Hero in the news, I keep getting pissed off about it. Like,
that's fair.
I'm so annoyed.
You know what? That's very fair. We've been waiting for Rise of the Shield Hero for 2.5, almost 3 years now.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And I think the only show that can announce a new season that early on, or the only show that I've liked how they've done it, is fucking Demon Slayer. Because they just, at the end of it, they're like, we're going to make another season. Like, we promise the story isn't ending with this season.
Yeah.
Which I like that because it's just clear of you will get more content versus leaving you in limbo. But if you're left in limbo and then they're like, oh, we have something for you in a year, then it's okay. And is it in a year though?
So to be fair, there's a couple things in back and forth with this, and I just kind of want to like broach it to kind of like because this is going to happen more and more. It's just it's how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the reason it is fine with JJK outside of the movie is because that was the first season. With Demon Slayer at this point, we're like, what, 4 seasons deep? Where they're like,
see, that's where you're wrong though. At the end of season 1 of Demon Slayer, they had the movie greenlit.
Right, but that was like, this is next arc, not a spinoff. Does that make that's where I'm also getting to? Like, JJK Zero,
it wasn't done in that way. It was done in the same way that Konosuba season 2 was announced. It was done in the same way that Rent a Girlfriend season 2 was announced. Like,
that's fair.
It was done in the way of the last panel is we are giving you more of this. The story is continuing, and we're not leaving you in limbo with that.
That's fair.
And like, I'm okay with that, but I don't like being left out and then getting left in limbo again with like, oh yeah, you're probably getting something in a year.
That's fair. I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with internal
Oh, it
politics,
probably
too.
absolutely
and I hate
does.
that, and I hate that it's there. But
there's a million marketing reasons why I'm absolutely fucking wrong.
And here's the thing: is I want to make one point with this is the fact that the Demon Slayer movie was announced at the end of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
The Demon Slayer movie came out in what was it, like October of 2020?
yeah,
We didn't get season 2 of Demon Slayer until December of 2021.
You're right.
So like,
yeah.
so
The
I think
the difference, I think, in my mind, this is the way I can separate it. Is
Tax fraud.
no, it's that I know that I'm getting another season eventually.
Yeah.
Versus them coming out with a bunch of bravado about we are giving you another season and then promises being broken later on and later on and later on.
That's fair. I also just
Something
think,
with no strings attached is a lot easier to commit to.
yeah, I would also just say that
But,
Mappa generally doesn't disappoint. So in a timing sense,
that's fair.
like when Mappa comes out and is like,
good with
yo,
their
we
timing.
got something. It comes out.
Mappa has been working overtime. I mean, like, cause what? Attack on Titan season 4 part 2 is ending in 6 weeks, and then Chainsaw Man comes out.
Yep.
And then Chainsaw Man ends, and what? Do they have something in the summer season announced yet?
I'd have to go look at
Yes.
Mal, but I'm almost positive
I'm
they have at
certain
least
they
a
do.
show.
I'm not sure about fall,
Yes.
but I know that they then have.
And then that would be winter.
JK,
right
yeah.
there. So like basically, I think it's just Mappa kind of doing a season by season official. Because if that's the way they've done it, then I don't think they have anything announced for anything for spring 23 then.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so
I mean,
it may
I
just be
also-
they're
yeah.
doing it seasonal announces too. So that's also possible. I just haven't done enough
if
research
they're
as of
warning
late.
you a year out that it's coming, then it's like, okay, that's a pretty fair timeline.
But so like I'm like at this point I'm mildly annoyed about like the Devil is a part-timer announcement, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like I love that we're getting more of it. I absolutely fucking adore that we're getting more of
Yeah.
it. But the fact that they announce it and it's like we're giving you anime, it's like cool, when? It's like I don't fucking know. Like,
That's also fair.
That's where it gets me,
That's
and I think that's all the build up here, and then JJK just kind of mildly annoyed me to the point where I broke because it's not even bad. And as I admitted, I am wrong. Like this is such an opinion, and I'm so wrong about it. But
Listen,
like,
I do it enough that you are allowed to have a moment where you are just utterly and despicably wrong for all good reasons for being wrong internally.
I'll take it.
You know what I'm
Sure,
saying?
I'll take it.
Like,
And
because it's just an
seeing as
opinion.
we already talked about it. We're getting a 3rd season of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, we're getting
Yeah, we're getting a third season of Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village arc.
It's actually a
Yes.
really good arc.
Yeah, because it's got 2 Hashiras in it.
It
At
doesn't
least.
just have 2 Hashiras in it, to be fair.
Yeah.
This is an
I mean,
arc
yeah.
that like people are either gonna love or hate this arc. Genuinely, this is an arc that, from what I've seen and from what I've heard from a lot of people, this is either their favorite arc or their least favorite arc.
Where are all my love Hashira simps at?
And I was gonna say part of the reason is this is it's a slower arc,
It is.
and I'm using slower in quotations here because this arc is chock full of crazy shit.
Well,
but
Yeah.
the
here's the
pacing is a
thing.
little more balanced. It's not like Entertainment District where you spend the first 5 episodes going, okay, cool. When are we going
What's
to
going
actually see the
on?
demon? And then you spend the next 7 episodes going, okay, cool, we're fighting the demon.
So like I feel like the last 2 arcs have been very breakneck speed overall, because like the train was the train. It was very short and sweet, but it was fast. And it was a lot. And then Entertainment District, like you said, it starts a little slow. It has a couple of episodes to get to the point, but then once it hits the point, it just goes full speed until the end. And then it hits the brakes really, 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 really hard.
Did we? So, just quick question. I don't remember if we talked about this last week, but basically the concept that Demon Slayer's the evolution of shonen.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
That was the
I thought we
entirety of
talked
last
about
week's
it.
episode.
I just wanted to make sure that we were talking about it because
Last week's episode is titled Episode 71, Demon Slayer versus Shonen.
Yes, good. The point being,
like officially on YouTube and Twitch last week, it was titled episode 72. So
the point being,
that one's on me.
Is I was gonna say that like we are getting again the evolution of the shonen here.
Yeah,
which is like we have done the mini break, breakneck fights, mini break, giant breakneck fights, mini break, and now we're kind of getting. It really isn't a break, if we're honest, and I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, don't. But so
you know,
like,
but it
is...
does have that like, you know when like you go, for those of you who like the beach, you know when you go to a beach and you take that first step outside of like the car, or like if you're like on a beach house, you take that first step towards the beach and like you just get hit with the wave of fresh air. Like that's kind of what this is in terms of pacing and characters. Right, like you finally get a breadth of characters that you're like, I enjoy all of you, or you hate all of it. There's no in between. Like you either like the beach or you don't like the beach, and that's exactly what happens.
I don't like sand.
This is also fair. Tim, let's get this last piece of news here real quick, and we'll keep moving.
Bitch, there is so much more news. Shut up.
We have taken a lot of time. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, there's been a lot of good discussion. Okay, Kenji Kamiyama's The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim.
Yep, Rohirrim.
It's a film. It's coming in 2024. This is an
Is
announcement
this
that I
when
could
the
have lived
Westfold
without
fell?
being announced this week.
I got announced this morning, actually.
Yeah, it's fucking
Got announced
crazy.
yesterday. Shut up.
Okay, well, it came on all of my feeds this morning.
Well, I'm so proud of you for not looking at 18 hours ago.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's the Lord of the Rings anime. We knew this was happening now that Amazon has the rights, and they're just kind of like they're shotgunning
anime.
it. Yeah,
They're just shotgunning anime.
They're not shotgunning anime. They're just shotgunning Lord of the Rings, and I mean it's the right move.
Yeah.
It's a move.
I would also say it's very interesting that they're doing this before the estate officially sells the IP.
Oh, they haven't officially sold it yet?
Yeah, the IP isn't officially sold.
Nothing's going to stop them now, though.
Right. Well, but the point being is if anything, if they sell the IP, then whoever gets the IP and whoever like is associated gets free reign for all of it. At current, Amazon is the only group that can really touch the Lord of the Rings IP. In a broad sense. So until that happens, and side note, but the fact that Sony just bought Bungie for $3.9 billion, the Lord of the Rings estate.
I thought it was 4.6.
I thought
Is the number
It is a number
or was
that
3.6?
it's like 3 to 4 billion.
Whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, maybe 5.
Just
Anyway,
call
the
it
point
4.
being, Lord of the Rings as an IP, as a concept, as a world, as all of the things that Lord of the Rings is, there is zero way that IP does not go for tens of billions of dollars, you know? And so we're looking at like the fact that Amazon's going, shotgun it before we have any issues.
Well, they're kind of running into issues already with fans. Fans are fucking upset. The dwarves don't have beards. The elves, what's wrong with the elves?
There's nothing actually wrong with the elves or the dwarves. It's
the dwarves not having beards is kind of a problem.
Depending on who you talk to, but yes.
They literally said they have beards in the book.
Well, yes, but there's also the Silmarillion and they're different dwarves. They're also in first stage dwarves versus...
The fuck? You're telling me that I'm not supposed to just be outraged?
Yeah.
You're telling me I'm supposed to do some fucking research first?
Yeah, right.
I refuse.
Yeah, there's actual fucking nuance.
This is the
to
other
this.
thing. Much like...
But no, people are mad about like very, very nitpicky reasons.
Yes. Which... This is what I have to say to that in general, which is like, if it's your favorite franchise, I can understand you being nitpicky.
That's literally the only people who are nitpicky right now.
But y'all need to still chill out because like 60% of what you have isn't even Tolkien himself. It's Tolkien stuff being recombobulated by his son and the estate. So y'all need to chill and let them go by the spirit of the work and not the letter of the work. Because otherwise you wouldn't have a lot of the Lord of the Rings stuff you love. Anyway, that's my little rant.
Yeah.
Tim, you can say whatever was on your mind real quick because you said something.
All I want to say is the like concept art that we have looks fucking awesome. And I'm excited. And the concept that they're like, this is what we're doing. We're doing the story of Helm's Deep and talking about like the most legendary figures, the mighty King of Rohan. Okay, cool. Thank you for expanding lore that, while I am not familiar with it, this is going to be sweet. At least from a lore perspective. So
I'm just hoping there's no 3D horses.
Give it a fair college shot, and if you hate it after that, then
Hey
cool.
Tim, I'm gonna sidebar really quick. Did you see the announcement about a BioShock movie from Netflix?
I will come to that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
It's on the news list.
No, I avoided that like the plague.
Okay, we'll just skip
I thought you
over
said you were
to
gonna come to it.
Yeah, I will come to that at the end of this news. We can address it then. I want to finish the topic.
I heard you.
I know you did because
I
you looked
heard
at
you.
me. I'm really glad we can't see your
Jim,
lower
did
half.
you hear him? Just
I'm glad it's just a talking head.
All right. So, Fire Force's manga ends in 2 weeks.
What a tragedy!
Honestly, I'm kind of excited for it to end.
You guys,
Which is
you've
like-
read it, right?
I was current with it for an extended period of time, and I am no longer current with it. I haven't been current with it for probably 6 to 8 months now. And but here's the thing is, I'm ready for it to end so that I can finish it.
Yeah,
because
That's good.
we got to a point where it kind of felt like everything that went wrong with Soul Eater.
Oh,
And I was like, oh no. Oh please. I'm gonna take a step back, and hopefully this will right its course and it'll be good.
That's painful.
So yeah, it's not a horrible thing. It was just it needed some time, and I'm hoping that the conclusion that we get in volume 34 is the conclusion that it deserves.
That's
Where
fair.
I'm at with that. And one more piece of news for all of our fairy tale-esque fans. Eden Zero is coming back. We're getting
Wow.
a second season.
Eden Zero, the show that all of us said was going to be garbage, none of us watched, and we just talk about.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's
I
It
have
hurts
no
me.
desire to watch another fairy tale. I've experienced it once. I don't need to do it again.
I haven't
here's
even
the thing,
finished
Paul.
the
Is
first one.
Paul, you haven't even seen Rave Master, or Red Rave Master, I should say, because Rave Master is the original fairy tale.
Wasn't happy in that one too.
Mashima has written the same fucking story 3 times.
You know, we were talking about it with bands earlier today, this week.
Oh yeah, we talk about this with bands all the time.
Yeah.
How like Imagine Dragons has like one song and they release it 8 times and then they'll come out with another song.
Yeah. But here's
Like
the thing is,
Beartooth
like,
did it with In Between and The Past is Dead.
I disagree with you on the Beartooth point.
No,
But,
yes,
like,
it's the chorus is so similar. Like it's the same.
They both
same
they both
principle.
yell in the chorus, and so he's like, it's the same. It's the same.
Well, it's also a lot of the chord structure, but not chord structure, the melody structure. But yes,
I mean
Okay,
that's fair,
but-
but the two songs are like also completely different tonally.
that's fair.
BioShock movie.
BioShock
movie?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only person who is so unexcited for this right now.
I have zero care in the world because I don't actually care too much about BioShock.
I fucking love BioShock.
I
think
am thoroughly upset that it's a movie.
I'm mildly annoyed it's a movie. I don't think Netflix is going to do a good they're not going to make Rapture good.
When has Netflix made a good game anime series outside of The Witcher?
Arcane.
That's not Netflix. That's Riot in-house.
That is Netflix paying for the production, which is literally what all of these shows are.
That's fair. That's fair.
And 2K is doing it.
Oh, okay, that's
2K is working on it with them.
okay.
2K and Netflix are working together in the same way that Riot and Netflix were for Arcane. So I don't think that Rapture will look good, and I'm honestly really worried about that. I feel like if they can nail the look of Rapture and they can nail like the main characters, then it'll be good. As long as they tell the story of Rapture, though, And that's the thing is I feel like they might try to do some weird movie shit. Cause do you know the main character of BioShock? What's his name?
Nope.
Do you know his name, Tim?
I don't remember. The last time I played BioShock, I was a freshman in high school.
It's Jack. Do you know how we know his name is Jack?
No.
Because there's an envelope with his name on it at the very beginning of the game. That's it. It's the only reason we know the main character's name. He doesn't say a single fucking word, doesn't do anything, just smokes cigarettes and shoots lightning out of his hands.
Yeah, you know what? That's pretty on brand.
Yep.
Yeah,
But,
I have no idea how they're gonna get this right. Which is like part of the reason I'm sitting here like, this is a film, bad idea.
I don't know how they can make this film good. I don't know what story they can tell that is a full standalone good story. Because the entirety of BioShock, I love BioShock, but it's because the atmosphere, the world that it created is so good, and the story that it tells in that world is good. And I feel like in a movie, you can have one or the other. You can have a really cool world or a really cool story. And if you want to have more than that, it takes iterations. Like, I was literally talking about this last night. The first Harry Potter movie, not a good story. It's a fantastic movie, though. Great world building. The effects hold up. Everything's good. But like the story of the movie, it's not really that fantastic. And the second movie doesn't have a fantastic story either, but they start to get those stories as they build on the world. And I feel like BioShock has so much there that they can't just introduce the entire world and a compelling story in the time of a movie.
So
BioShock as a TV show could have actually had real promise.
I think that has legs.
So I'll say it this way. I think there's a combination of things. Number one, I think anything you try and take from a book series that starts at a book and ends at another book, right? And you start from the beginning is kind of almost doomed to have that problem, unless it is a very good book, right?
Well,
and my
like
point
Doom.
is like, well, you're right. And my point is like, if you go to like a Harry Potter thing, like the first Harry Potter book, I read it after I watched the movie, is just like the movie is. Like great world building, no story.
It's a fine book, but yeah, there is.
And so
like
my
the
point
first
is,
2 books are very short,
right?
Like,
and so I'm hoping for BioShock,
yeah,
that like if you properly take from a series that has the good story and has the world already built, that you can kind of like catty corner on some things, like Dune catty corners, and is like, I'm not going to explain the flying thopter to you in the slightest. Like the book does. The book sits down and is like, yo, this is what they do. This is how they do it. Gives you the whole thing. In the movie, they were like, nah, cool thing, looks cool, flies, dope.
That's all they need to
know. And that's what
though.
I'm pointing. It's like if you get to BioShock, I hope that we can get that thing. Because like, I don't necessarily need to know how the giant mech that I always see in every BioShock
the problem,
thing.
Is you don't understand how Big Daddies work. You don't understand how Little Sisters work. You don't understand like how all these characters fit in together and why they operate the way that they do.
Right.
And that's such an important and integral part of it. Like in a lot of like worlds, it's very easy to be like, okay, this is the Witcher world, right?
Right.
It's like this is a boar man. He's like a man, but also part boar. These things are goblins. They are like goblins from other series, like Lord of the Rings, you know.
Right.
But BioShock has this really unique character set, and the way that they all interact with each other is so weird. Because all of the...
It's just not self-explanatory.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and so
that's right.
because of that, like, and you can't really compare it directly to something else. The only thing you compare it to is the other BioShock.
I was just going to say, that's the other, like, thing that, like, say, Dune and these other movies that I... Like, Lord of the Rings, right? Like, all of these, these like, excellent books and series that were turned into either a movie or a series of movies are... They condense very well. And things that they present don't necessarily need explaining.
Well, I think Lord of the Rings is such a great example because it was a full trilogy of books and it was made into a full trilogy of movies. Yeah. The world and the story built on each other the entire time, and you are left with a masterclass in storytelling.
Right. But I'm making the point that like even in the first movie though, like certain things are so self-explanatory that like when you see the Hobbits, you're like, small little men with big feet makes sense, and like that's all you need to know. And like you get to Gandalf and you're like, wizard hat, dope, wizard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so those things are so self-explanatory that they don't need to be like, you see Gandalf, he's one of the 7 wizards, like sent by the god, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and so, but in BioShock, because there's no proper reference like you're talking about, it's going to be very difficult to say, yes, Big Daddy.
Well, the thing is, like, the big daddies are not necessarily bad in the same way that the little sisters aren't. They're just fucking abused, like awfully.
So I'm just saying, like, I really hope that as they do it, they take the thought of what can I explain by showing it, as opposed to what can I explain by trying to make it a narrative element.
Exactly,
because that's the important part.
They need to walk that line really well, and that's what I'm so worried about with it. But I hope they do good, because the retro futurist BioShock city of Rapture is so fucking amazing.
Yes. I'm hoping it's good, because I'll watch it.
I will watch it, and I really, really, really want it to succeed. I don't have faith.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Tim, let's, for anime this week,
pivot to anime.
And I want to talk 2 things. Number 1, I want to talk Demon Slayer finale, because we have to. That's how it works. Number 2,
we are legally obligated, yes.
Since we're finally getting all of these, like Fire Force is ending, Chifuyu is ending, like we're finally getting all these Hallmark pieces. I want to take like 5-10 minutes after we talk Demon Slayer and just go through like hallmarks of our anime stuff that we like what's going to be, where are we going to be sad when it ends, what do we want to see redone. We've had the redone conversation so many times, but I kind of want to like frame it in the idea of like, if you could see it again for the first time, that kind of like redo conversation. So let's start with Demon Slayer first, because Demon Slayer, now it wasn't, just so everybody knows, it wasn't a 45-minute episode like we'd originally said. It was 35.
No. Here's what happened is, it was a 45-minute episode. It was a 45-minute episode for TV.
So it was 15 minutes bad.
Correct. It was misconstrued, but it was a 45-minute episode. Because think about it. If it's a 30-minute episode, it normally has about 7.5 minutes of ads. There was only really an additional 7.5 minutes of content that needed to be put in from the rest of Entertainment District.
I'm going to be honest. This episode, the last episode, was kind of a letdown. Like, compared to everything that was going on before, and it's just like, okay, and we bring it all the way down. Like, it feels like they climaxed too hard in episode 10, so that the come down was just too slow.
So what I'm hearing is you have the opposite issue that you had when we were talking about Demon Slayer previously, where you were like, you should have ended with Rengoku's dad. And now you're like, why didn't you end with them talking to the demon heads?
No. They ended with them talking. Here's the thing, is they could have put the demon heads in the previous episode.
Yes.
They could have put the backstory in the previous episode. They could have put the backstory in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
They could have paced it out differently. They could have had the previous episode be 45 minutes and then end on the explosion, and then have this be them all running through the rubble and making sure that everything's okay and then pushing to the future. Like, they could have recut it in a number of different ways.
Right.
But I feel like with how fast everything was, like, so I re-binged it.
Yeah.
I rewatched through the whole season in one sitting, and then the last episode, and it has that whiplash.
That's right.
It goes super, super fast, and then the episode ends, and then the next episode does not carry the pace at all.
No.
So I want to touch on that, because I knew that was probably going to be a criticism that I was going to hear a lot.
Yeah.
The arc in the manga also ends very fucking abruptly.
It does that. Yeah.
Because of the fact that when you get that fight scene, it is truly the focal point. That's the thing that everyone's been craving. And the beauty of the backstory becomes important when you look at the parallels between Tanjiro and Nezuko and Gyutaro and Ume.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is the fight that you got needed to be separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Purely based on how everything happens in the story.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're sitting there and it's like, okay, cool. So you have the explosion, and then you have Nezuko saving everybody's ass, burning all of Gyutaro's blood scythes up, picking up Tanjiro, making sure that he is not dead, Tanjiro finding Zenitsu, and then them finding Inosuke, and jogging it over to Tengen. And like, sure, you can definitely cut out like the Makio and Suma bit where Suma is just hysterical.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Suma is
might
my
have been a
least
bit much
favorite
for me, I'm
fucking
gonna be
character
honest.
in this entire manga.
Say again?
Suma is literally my least favorite character in the entire manga.
Yeah, you know what? I can agree with you so wholeheartedly. Her voice actress did a fire job.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know her voice actress. I know her voice actress by like sound. And I was like, oh, it's that person. And I was like, she did good. Yeah. She did great. She did exactly what she was supposed to.
And she's supposed to be kind of like that, except, you know, so it
was a little grating on my ears.
That's
at
fair.
the end of the day.
So I'm just curious, just because I'm curious then, because she's the foil to
Makio.
Yeah.
Tim, she's the foil to Zenitsu, right?
She is the female Zenitsu, yes.
Yeah, basically. She's the foil to Zenitsu. So basically all the
she's the
annoyingness that you
useless
get with
one.
Zenitsu is supposed to be her as well.
So I think that my favorite character is Zenitsu when he's asleep.
Yes.
Because he is
that's unequivocally true, by the way.
He's the smartest motherfucker when he's asleep. He's like, this is how we have to approach everything tactically. I can do this, you can do this, we can work together, everything will work out perfectly. And then it does. And then he's awake and he's crying all the time. Like,
go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, Zenitsu, I promise, Zenitsu continues to get better.
He has been getting better.
He's awake.
Wholeheartedly, I've noticed that he's getting better. I don't look at him as harshly as a lot of other people do. I found that people really hate him. I don't. I definitely get he's annoying, but man, people fucking despise him.
He gets so. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I can't say too much. I won't say anything.
I think Zenitsu truly becomes like the demon slayer that everyone wishes.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
They were as a person, because he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. No, listen.
He just
he
just needs to figure out that he's actually a bad motherfucker. You know?
I just love his ending arc. Like, Zenitsu's character arc is a character arc that I think a lot of people don't realize is something they can get behind until the end.
Well, it's because they don't realize that they're Zenitsu.
Yes.
They don't look at themselves through that lens. They think nobody's ever thought of me that way. I'm not that annoying. I'm not that worthless, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, no, you were, and you grew, and you became better.
Yeah.
And you had a similar plot line, and you just didn't realize it because you are so busy looking down on this character, you can't see that you're in their shoes.
Yeah. And that's, I think, one of the most beautiful things about Demon Slayer as a whole is I think there is somebody to relate to for every single Demon Slayer. And of course, on the reverse side, the way that it's written, every one of the demons, like, at the end of the day. And I think that's what the final episode was really about, is like seeing this foil again. And to Tim's point, I don't think you could have fit it in the previous episode. Like, I think you had to separate all of it.
And that's fair.
And it's annoying.
And that's fair. I think there does definitely need to be cooldown at the end of the season. Like, you can't just end with like the fight and the explosion and then cut it. But like, I think it might have just been that this was an extended episode where an extended amount of nothing happened. And that might have been like everything happened in like the first 2 minutes. So if it had been like 2
episodes, like, you probably would have been like, okay.
I don't know. Like, that's and I'm the fucking worst. I don't have an answer to tell you what the fix would be. Like, I think that's the worst thing. But because like I felt like I finished the episode, I was like, that one was really slow. Like, that was that like I I felt like I was out of breath watching the previous episode, and then this one I still have no idea what's going on. Like, it just feels like it was way too slow for what had previously been happening.
Right.
And that hard tonal shift got me.
Right. That's fair.
And like, yeah.
I just don't, like, as Tim was saying, I just don't see another way they could have done it.
And that's totally fair. I've had that argument on so many things, and I haven't read the manga, so I don't know if there's another way that they could have done it. And if I read the manga, which I am thinking about doing now, like, maybe I'll be completely on your side. Like, that's...
Yeah.
I've made the same argument with Attack on Titan Season 2, which is, I don't see another way they could have done it.
Yeah.
Like, it had to be done. I knew people weren't going to like it, and I didn't see another way that it could be done.
And I think especially because of the way that last section is attempting to purposefully foil things,
Yeah.
as hard as it is.
Yeah.
Especially, and if you didn't realize this, you have Tengen also being foiled with the other Hashira. Like it's not just the
Oboro
foil.
is such a bitch.
He's such a bitch, but I love him.
He's such a big fucking bitch.
Our
those two
Snake
were-
Boy, right?
yeah.
But like, you're getting a true foil for every character that existed in those final 2 episodes. Well, episode really. Like, you get the Hashiras being foiled, you get Tanjiro being foiled, you get the his 3 wives, and foiling like how each of them react to trauma versus how each of, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu react to trauma, being like, it's such a revelation of like what characters could have been and how they have made themselves who they are, that like it's hard to like take that and be like, yes, congratulations, like we are not stopping to make sure these things are showcased for other purposes, and we're just going to keep barreling on to the next arc, like, because the reason you enjoy Demon Slayer is because you get those foil moments. Like,
I thought it was a pretty animation.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what got me.
Yeah, it's just animation.
The Gyutaro and Ume sequence, I don't think it could have been better done. Like,
Yeah.
it was absolutely gorgeous. And when they announced that we were getting this, I was like, I need them to get 2 things right. I needed them to get the Tengen Gyutaro fight right, and they did. And currently, and that is my fight of the year. And it's
Yep.
going to be hard to fucking top that fight. That fight was beautifully animated.
I think that 3D Armored Titan versus 3D Attack Titan is pretty good. I
can't tell if you're serious.
No, I'm not. Holy shit.
Okay, I was
I
like,
said 3D
I was like,
in both of the names.
But see, the point is, you said it so dry. It
Oh.
was either sarcastic or like, I feel bad for saying this. Like, there was no in between.
It was I can't stomach saying this normally.
yeah, I
Okay.
was like, okay, are you? I couldn't tell if you were trying to get me to like be like, what, or more of like a, okay.
It's a little bit interesting.
Let's find the middle ground, and then the
Yeah.
Gyutaro and
I
Ume
don't-
sequence.
I genuinely, the only thing that'll probably beat it is something from fucking Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I think Chainsaw Man is, and depending on where they end up in Chainsaw Man, like, Chainsaw Man's only 97 chapters long. So, like, they could finish all of Chainsaw Man Part 1 in a season, and I expect them to.
Yeah.
And if they don't, that will actually be my biggest point of contention with it.
I think, like, oh my god, do I just hate timing now? I hate time. If I think that, like, if they finish everything up with Chainsaw Man and then they have to wait like 3 years to do another season, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yes, you just hate time now, Nate.
I
It's
hate
fine.
time.
You hate time
Here's
itself.
the thing is, I hate time too, because I've been sitting here like, cool, Chainsaw Man ended in December of 2019. I haven't gotten more Chainsaw Man since that they told me when it ended that we were getting more of it.
They did. I remember this. I remember they announced Chainsaw Man manga arc 2. Like,
And you know how many chapters of that we've fucking gotten?
like 3?
-1. We've gotten -1 of those fucking chapters.
I remember hearing about that because everyone I know that reads manga was freaking out, and I was like, okay, maybe I should figure out what Chainsaw Man is.
Yeah, because they sat there, they were like, Chainsaw Man is ending, you're getting an anime, and it's coming back, but in a different magazine. And that's it. And they were like, oh, fucking shit, okay. And you know what? We haven't gotten any of that.
I mean, to be fair, the anime is guaranteed to be coming out soon. Like, yeah, Mappa hits their time, as previously stated. So I'm just like,
okay. But the thing is there's not a whole lot of Chainsaw Man content in the sense that, like, there's going to be enough to complete the whole, like, to give you more than one season unless it's a fucking 6-episode season.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know.
But to go back on it, so, like, the fight from episode 10 is undoubtedly the best thing we've seen all year and probably will see for an extended period.
I think it will be the best thing we have seen.
Sequence.
I think it's completely just up to how hard Mappa goes.
I think it entirely depends on what happens. I think it will be the best thing we see until probably...
I don't think there's a whole lot of studios otherwise that I'm excited for.
I was going to say JJK Season 2, we're getting the Shibuya arc, and I think that is the only thing at the moment that I can see on the horizon that can compete.
But that's not coming out this year.
That's my point. It's like, I don't think we're going to see anything until then. Unless something gets released in the middle.
Listen, okay. If there is one example that I think could absolutely fucking trounce everything.
Okay.
If Mappa does 2D only for the last fight in Attack on Titan.
Also acceptable. If we get that, I can contest that will probably be as good, if not better.
Okay.
And there are 2 fights in Chainsaw Man that, again, if they're 2D only, but Mappa is doing a lot of good 3D camera work.
Yeah.
Those 2 fights in Chainsaw Man. So I'm like, there are 3 contenders for me on what could beat that, and if none of them live up to it, there is not a single fucking thing this year that will beat that fight for me. From what we know is coming.
Unless something just comes out of left field in fall or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, unless something gets suddenly announced where we're like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
unless there's a dark horse thing that just shows up, there is nothing on the horizon other than those 3 fights that has me even close to excited for the quality that it has to beat for that Demon Slayer fight.
For example, something that's in that list that, like, I would put there that a lot of people probably would is the final fight from Takt. Like, it's in that top fight list. I don't think it's number 1. It's probably number 3, number 4. But, like, that kind of stylistic fighting stuff is up there. I just think Demon Slayer has it so firmly in the bag that, like, somebody's going to have to come in and knock our socks off. Like, it'd have to be a new studio or something. Do it. Like, it'd have to be like the Hitori Noshida fight.
Listen, Wit doesn't have a whole lot of stuff slated this year.
Yeah. Like, A1 doesn't do it.
A1 couldn't do it. Cloverworks could.
That's true.
I could see Cloverworks, Wit, Mappa, Trigger.
A1.
No.
Really?
Nah. I don't think so.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
I'm looking at what's scheduled right now.
A1, I think, is a 50 to 70% studio where they will never make a product that's, like, below this tier of quality.
Yeah.
But they will also never make one above this tier of quality. And it's like, that's where it is.
That's fair.
Meanwhile, Mappa has the whole fucking grid.
Yeah.
And they're routinely shooting for the top and hitting it, which is good. But
let me look up real quick.
You know.
Yeah, so I'm looking at what's been announced, but has no...
Not a whole lot of crazy stuff going on.
The only thing... Okay, you know what?
Go ahead.
My Hero Season 6 is coming out in fall.
That's fair.
My Hero... This season of My Hero that we're going to be getting has a couple fights that, like...
It's Madhouse, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Madhouse.
Maybe just... Well, we don't even know who's doing it right now. Because I think it's changed hands.
Oh, really?
correct.
Listen, if that puts Madhouse back in the water to make shit that isn't My Hero, I'm very excited.
Who's doing My Hero, Tim?
We don't know yet.
Oh.
Because it might not be
or is it Bones, I think, was doing My Hero.
Studio Bones was doing
My Hero.
My Hero.
Yeah.
So here's what I'll say about that. If they get one of the fights that I'm thinking about, Tim, I don't know how far they're going to go this season. I would not be surprised if they pull off something in their style that is equivalent, if that makes sense. I just think the Demon Slayer quality and style is much more relevant is not the right word, but basically like the way that they do fights is just better for visual aesthetic like content than the way Bones has been doing stuff. Like Bones does like the All Might versus All for One, final smash, and you're like, okay, that was great.
United States of.
Like the United States of Smash, but like that's a moment for a scene that is built up to as a moment, not 6 episodes of batshit crazy balls to the wall like fight that you cannot unsee. You know what I mean? Like, so I hope we get some good stuff. I think there's a couple things in there. I just don't know, because I'm trying to remember specifically the fights that are in there. Like, for example, like the Endeavor versus Nomu fight, great. Not on par at all. You know what I mean? Like,
not even close.
And like I said, it'd have to be something like a Hitori Noshida fight where like the choreography is what blows us away, not just the animation, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because
no,
like
absolutely.
And that's my point. Is like if Bones pulls off something like that, then I think there may be a contender, because there is no way they can pull off the stylistic animation that Mappa and UFO Table consistently put out like that. Like especially with the whole fight that we got. So
yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like, so like that fight's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna look at My Hero real quick just because I want to see what fight's going on there.
I'm still behind on My Hero. I just fell off of it at the perfect time to fall off of it and haven't gotten back on board. I was looking at it today. I'm thinking about it. Or not today. This weekend I was looking at it because I got to do it. Like, I got to get back on the train. I got to catch up. I got to do something of value. Maybe I'll just watch, what's that show about Boruto's dad?
That was a great meme I showed you that. It was a great time.
What meme?
The one where it was like, where was it?
I'm sure you showed me a meme, Paul.
Yeah, it was like best shows based on secondary characters. It was shows that needed to be made based on best
shows
secondary
that need to be
characters.
made based on secondary characters.
It was like it was Gojo, it was Zoro, and it was
like 3 of them were characters that were the original characters.
No, because it was Gojo, it was Zoro, and it was somebody from where was it? It was somebody from Bleach, and then the final one was Boruto's dad, Boruto. And it was just a great time.
Boruto's dad, man.
Yep,
Boruto's
Boruto.
dad. I will never get sick of that joke.
Nope.
Mostly because it always makes Naruto fans mad. So, Paul.
Yes.
You wanted to talk about death.
Yes. Let's talk about. That's one way to put it. Let's take a second here and go through. Yes, 1 second. Totally. Always 1 second.
I took it.
I can't.
You can't have
I can't get a word in edgewise. Why are you yawning? You're making me yawn. Anyway, Tim.
Fuck you.
Tim,
Wow.
we got to go. And I want to hear your favorite manga at the moment or anime that is coming to a close that you are going to be emotional about when it ends.
Coming to a close? That's tough.
I have the answer for this.
Okay, you want to go first?
Yeah, the manga that I will feel incredibly emotional about when it comes to a close.
Yeah.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I mean, that's fair.
Because so JoJo's has been running for like 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
JoJo's Part 8 recently concluded last year, I think. And Araki has historically said that he wanted to create 9 JoJo's parts. He wanted 9 parts total. Now, we don't have Part 9 announced or anything, so JoJo's very well could be over, and JoJo Lion could be the nail in the coffin. But Araki has previously stated that he wanted to make 9 parts.
Yeah.
He had a plan for a 9th part, probably forgot it somewhere along the way. But
along the way, yes.
But if he ends up making that 9th part and then that ends, that will be the end of JoJo's, and that'll be really, really sad. Tim,
it's your turn.
Are you gonna use
a
One
whole
Piece?
lot of time for that.
I did not.
I hate whatever car.
Are you talking about the giant bass speaker cars that drive by?
There is some asshole who has the smallest fucking penis at the stoplight right now who is just blasting the bass out of their car, and it's shaking like our walls, and it's actually irritating me like physically. It's an annoying feeling, and I cannot believe why do you do that? Why?
I don't know.
Who?
You know what?
I also want to point out this stuff. This is like an inch thick of fucking soundproofing, and I'm still feeling my eardrum vibrate.
Come watch the show so you can see Nate be visibly uncomfortable when a car drives by.
It's only that one asshole.
It is. I'm just making it.
I literally can't hear the other cars.
But yeah, go ahead, and Tim. I think are you still looking?
No, I have one. Okay. You know what? I won't lie. I'll be kind of disappointed and sad when My Hero ends as a manga, and it's coming up. It's very fucking close, in fact, because the chapter we got this week really put things into perspective of how close we were to the end that Horikoshi has been planning.
Yep, it was.
And not to spoil too much, but when we talk about final fights, here we go. It's happening.
I'm not I won't spoil anything specific, right? But
our endgame Thanos
the scene that
fight.
you always see when somebody's like, "Yo," like it's like the classic comic covers. That's what we got.
I'm gonna be honest. I was looking up a light novel title. I have no idea what we're fucking talking about.
We're talking about this latest week in My Hero.
Oh,
without spoiling it.
Okay.
We're getting at the point where we're starting to get those classic comic covers, except in manga panels.
Okay.
Whether it's like the death of Superman type stuff, or just like the Civil War one where it's like two sides, we're getting those kinds of covers except as manga panels in My Hero. So we're getting pretty close to the end.
Here's a good way to describe it for people that aren't caught up. You remember that scene in Endgame where all of the heroes walk out of portals and you're looking at Thanos' army full of every motherfucker in the galaxy he could bring?
Avengers Assemble. If you know, you know.
That was literally the last panel this week.
Yeah.
Was the Avengers Assemble moment.
Do you know about that?
Going into the final fight.
Fucking Courage tweeted out when Endgame came out. He just tweeted out, "Avengers Assemble. If you know, you know." And it's like, yeah, bro, the whole fucking world knows. It's the most popular. You're not in the in crowd right now.
Listen.
One of my favorite memes.
That's what we got this week for My Hero, and I will be a little bit sad to see it end. Because it's so funny to me how many shonen started after One Piece and will die over a decade earlier than One Piece did.
We're getting One Piece for another decade. Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
Well, here's the thing. One Piece is gonna hold that forever, just because they can.
I mean, I think it's honestly just because Oda keeps going.
Honestly, if One Piece is so good, why is there no Two Piece?
I was gonna make a joke because Oda only knows how to get dubs. He only knows what first is like.
Oh my god.
Apparently not, because Detective Conan has more anime episodes than him.
You know what? That's very fair.
I don't even know where to go from there.
How does second place feel? Actually, it's third, I'm pretty sure. I think he's beat
One Piece is third place for that.
What's the first one is some like children's show, isn't it?
Yep, it's Doraemon, I think. Or it might be Crayon Shin-chan.
It's wild.
It's that one. It's the second one you said.
So I'm actually going to have to say it already ended, but it ended, I think last year, or a year and a half ago, something like that, was when Haikyuu finally ended. Because like they gave us the final arc, and the final arc was like, yo guys, time skip, have fun. and then the final arc was literally them as like adults.
That's nice.
Playing in like the world volleyball championships.
That's
like, and stuff like, it was so good and it was so fulfilling. And at the very end, you're like, but wait.
At least they didn't fight against the volleyball mafia.
Listen. So like, and it still hits me because I'm like, man, like there's so much time that we didn't get to see, you know, that I was like, now I just have to headcanon, like...
No, it's so funny, too, because, like, when you're watching a long-running series, there's so many times where you're like, I don't give a shit about this, let's move on, let's move on, right? And especially when watching, like, One Piece, it's like, I have so much, I don't give a shit. Let me skip these 50 episodes, let me skip these 18, let me skip these ones right here, let me skip these one-offs, these ones over here. It's like, because you don't deal with that, you don't need it. And then, if you ever catch up, you're like, well, now what do I do? Do I go back? I can't go back there.
That was
so far ago. It's so long ago.
So my sister, I hope she never hears this because I'm going to say this. My sister is the kind of person who, once she gets invested in a series, is actually emotionally tied to that series for like 2 years. And like if she like tries to watch anything else, she gets emotionally overloaded from like caring about new characters. And so she like sits down and she got into like My Hero. So she is current with My Hero, everything included. And now she's at the point where she's like, I can't emotionally get invested in another show. So she like sits down and reads like solid fan fiction because she's like, I'm invested in the character.
I know your sister. She doesn't read solid fan fiction. She reads fan fiction.
Listen, I didn't say that one.
I did. Listen, I know your sister. I know that she would also not be, she would probably be like, yeah, like
it's also fair.
I know anyway, your sister.
Anyway, but the point being is like there are moments where I sit down and I'm like, I am so invested in this character and now I have nothing because it's over. You know what I mean? Like,
see, luckily I'm never gonna feel that with JoJo's.
That's fair.
Yeah, you can't get
invested in those characters
attached to any of them because they're gone so quick.
They're all gone anyways.
But Tim, that's like kind of what we're talking about. Like My Hero is like, even if like you don't necessarily care about My Hero at this point, and you've just been like reading and following along for the last, how long has it been? Like 5 years at this point, something like that. You know, like you're like,
6
I have spent 5-6 years of my life like attached to these characters, and like. And it's a psychological thing. Like when some of these characters like either die in series or like it's done, like it is the emotional equivalent of like losing a loved one. And you're like, I don't know what to do with my life. You know, so you have these moments, and it's just interesting to me that like,
do you know what you're supposed to do, Paul?
What?
When you reach that moment where your favorite manga has ended and you don't know how to connect with anything anymore because nothing feels real? You pick up a weird-ass fucking light novel. And as usual, I have a fun one this week. I actually have a really good one. It is a Japanese web novel with a great name and a regular fucking synopsis. So I'm actually happy about this one.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to show up somewhere just based on how it is. Lane, a reincarnated person, lives his life as an anti-demon aristocrat who's responsible for defeating demons in the frontier. At the age of 15, his engagement to the princess, a privilege of the anti-demon aristocrats, is supposed to be announced, but he is told to break the engagement and is also stripped of his status as a member of the anti-demon aristocracy. Cast out not only by his country, but also by his adoptive father, Lane leaves the royal capital and uses wind magic to fly through the air to a faraway village. For some reason, Lane decides to live in the village where only young girls live, and works with the girls to strengthen the village, teach them magic, and enjoy freedom he has never had before. Lane has escaped his black environment and is enjoying the slow life, but Lane's power is affecting the world in... Thereafter of an exiled magician, somehow my engagement was canceled and I was driven out, so I will stop living the tough aristocrat life and live leisurely in a distant foreign developing village.
I'm gonna be really upfront with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
This showed up on the page where I read
I need you to
some
stop reading
of
light
my
novels,
novels.
Tim. I need you to stop reading light novels, Tim. I knew it did the moment like I said the first word and you made a face. I was like, oh, Tim already knows this one.
I heard the main character's name and I was I looked at this synopsis earlier this week.
Yeah, I
Can
saw.
I just not? Is that fine? Can I just?
Bruh, he just so happens to move to a town where they're all girls. It's not like the writer would do that on purpose.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We're just doing World's End harem all over again, but in a different setting.
No,
fine.
it's edge of the world harem.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just everybody has the same objective. Everybody has the same setup. All the characters are the same.
Did you even watch World's End harem?
Yes, actually.
All of it?
No, because it's not all released yet.
Are you caught up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Paul, I want you to know.
World are we in where I'm only caught up with one anime and Paul's fucking caught up with the harem?
Yeah, can we talk about the fact that when we started this show, anytime that I brought up anything ecchi or Nate brought up anything ecchi, Paul visibly fucking recoiled.
Yeah, we would do it to get a reaction.
And now it's like, okay, Paul's the only one that's seen World's End harem? To current? What the fuck?
Don't ask
Studio
me
Blank.
any questions, okay? It's just we are here.
You know what? I have a feeling that Paul has some really weird thoughts on it, and you can probably find him talking about them nonstop. Where do you talk about World's End harem nonstop?
Oh, on the 135th floor.
You know what? Good segue.
I was trying to
No, I know
get you
exactly
to plug
what you
your
were doing,
Twitter,
but it's fine.
Plug your Twitter, Paul.
Guys, you can find and gals and folks and
Non-binary
buds and
pals.
non-binary pals. You can find me over on Twitter at twitter.com/I_love_Mondays MUNDAYS, on Instagram at the same, on TikTok no underscores, and anywhere else that you might find your regular white dude on the internet.
Where can you find the ghost of Tim?
You guys can find the Ghost of Tim over on Twitch and Twitter at Syndixatrix, SYNDAX.
Please stop trying to give him ghost hand jobs, Paul.
No, I'm giving you headbutts.
He was a little lower earlier.
Presentation and then head pats.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you can find Studio Blank on patreon.com/Studio Blank, or on Twitch at Studio Blank Pod, or on Twitter at Studio Blank Pod, or on TikTok at Studio Blank Pod. And Nate, king of the podcast, where do they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Comfamous, where I don't stream, or you can find me on Twitter, where I bitch about Netflix making adaptations of my favorite things, at twitter.com/Comfamous, or you can find me. That's pretty much it. Join my Discord, actually. Yeah, in my Discord. Join my Discord. If you go to my Twitch channel and type an !Discord, the Stream Elements bot will give it to you. I don't have the link, so I'm just telling you instructions to join us. But if you want better instructions than that, you can listen to it up next in the 135th floor. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.